if there's any attempt on the part of the Congress, whether it's the House or the Senate, to exclude this section of the bill, I think it would be better for the movement not to have any bill at all than to have a bill so watered down that it has no real meaning. The defeat of that bill would be very tragic and unfortunate for the nation. I think it would bring about a great deal of social disruption, and I'm sure that we would see demonstrations on a scale more extensive and larger than we've ever seen before. It would bring about so much discontent and disillusionment and even despair in the Negro community that these outbreaks would be inevitable.
You mean the end of passive resistance?
Well, we have a consolidation of the leadership now. I don't think we'll see one organization as a sort of a super organization emerge, and I don't think this is necessary or desirable. I think there can be unity where there isn't uniformity, and I think all of the civil rights organizations that we have are needed. And we work very effectively and very well together. I don't see any tension or conflict in the leadership. There may be temporary disagreements here, or misunderstanding, or questions about tactics, but we are united on the goals we seek, and I think we're more united than ever before. So I think in 64, just as in 63, we will continue to work together in a very harmonious manner, realizing that we are all moving toward the same goal. We may be moving down a highway which has 3 lanes. Some may move down the lane of stressing the importance of direct action, and others may move down the lane of stressing the importance of working through the courts and the legislative channels. Others may move down the channel or the lane of preparing the Negro to live in a highly urbanized society through educational and research methods. All of these are important. I think you can alleviate it to a degree, even though you have housing and residential segregation. But honesty impels me to admit that you cannot permanently solve the problem until the problem of housing discrimination is solved. I don't feel, however, that we must use this as an excuse for the continuation of de facto segregation in education. I would strongly favor busing students from one district to another, as they are doing in some cities. Residential segregation must not be used as an excuse for de facto segregation in the public schools. I think it's so important for children to grow up with healthy outlooks and world perspectives, and they must not grow up stigmatized as a sort of untouchable in a caste system, as an individual inevitably does when he lives in a system of segregation. So I think even though housing discrimination is still existing, this must not be used as an excuse for the continuation of segregation in schools.
Dr. King, do you feel that in the last year or two you've been making greater progress in your stride toward your civil rights program?
I think so. I think 1963 was probably our most significant year in the struggle. I think the issue was brought out in the open and brought to the surface in 1963 in a way that it had never been brought out before. And in a real sense, the conscience of the nation was subpoenaed to appear before the judgment seat of morality on this very basic and vital issue facing our nation, so that I think we made strides in 63 that we had not made before.
And you feel it'll make even greater strides in this present year, 60?
Yes, I think so. I see no let-up on the part of the civil rights movement, and I think that there are many other forces alive in the nation which realize that we must move ahead in this field, so that I think we will make very... yes, there are several.
What would be your approach to securing steps?
Well, I would start, as we do in any nonviolent thrust, through the method of negotiation, trying to get the school boards to see the reality and the existence of the problem and try to get them to rectify it. Now, if they do not move on through negotiation, then I would strongly recommend some type of dramatic action program in order to bring this issue out in the open, such as nonviolent direct action encompassing school boycotts or this kind of thing. I think it's often necessary to do this in order to dramatize the indignities and the inequalities that the Negroes face and that the whole community faces as a result of school segregation.